Hey all, Mac here. So I've been playing PoE Necropolis League in Hardcore Trade this time around, and I wanted to kind of share my 1 week update on my progress. And so I'm going to start by saying I am playing the Metascum build, DD, of course. Um, I have so far ripped two characters, one of which I deleted just kind of out of spite. That character died at the start of mapping, and it was to I want to say an effigy plus harbinger rares, and it wasn't a very like smart death, and kind of deserved to be honest. But I also had a rip to Syrian Exarch because I just completely greeted by trying to tank meatballs while I had the debuff, which was just like a lapse of judgment, and it was partially with a bit of fatigue from playing, and also just like kind of in the moment panicking a little bit, and I lost this character. So I'm gonna hop on and kind of show what I lost, what I ripped on this character. So I had a really good scepter. It's cast speed, the veiled trigger mod. It was unveiled, and it had an open prefix for a fire damage craft. So this was a very good scepter, which I ripped, which I'm really sad about. And this actually is still better than what I have currently on my character that's still alive. I had some other like decent items, but nothing really like too crazy to know. I did hit this on this amulet, which is also like pretty nice. Um, had a +2 all res shield, which is also something that I'm really sad is gone now. And this doesn't have suppression on it, so I'm not too upset about it, but it is kind of unfortunate. But either way, some of this gear is like really early on, like it's kind of all there is. Um, but the character itself actually felt really tanky. It felt really smooth playing maps, and I was just kind of like greeting Exarch when I probably shouldn't have because I just gotten into sort of T16s, and my damage wasn't really there either. So I ripped this character, and after starting another one, I got to maps a lot faster. I think I got my leveling down to like 440 or something. And the second I got into maps, I ripped another character, which was unfortunate. I took a little break and then came back, and I got my leveling all the way down to 4 hours. And now my current character is sitting at 96. I have cleared Exarch. Um, this time without tanking any balls that were unnecessary. And I have a much better build character. So far, uh, I've kind of gotten the cast speed to a really comfortable state. I have a lot of ES for Eldritch Battery, so this feels really nice. And some of my items I think are going to be pretty much staying as they are. The only thing that I really want to upgrade, to be honest, is the Scepter and some of the base types of these items. So the Scepter obviously has the Trigger Craft as opposed to the Unveil. And I think the 4-second Unveil is going to make flammability just feel a little bit better. It's better uptime. And obviously, like, getting a higher minion damage roll through essences is just going to be the play. I don't think I actually want to go EO Scepter, just because I think saving that 1 point is like kind of pointless. Like, padding up here and whatnot is fine, and like I could run LE weakness as well if I wanted more single target damage. But this character is actually not going to be used for bossing, and I've kind of discovered, along with I think a lot of people in hardcore trade at least, that the mechanic for this league is actually kind of insane for currency and just like general crafting and gearing. So I think that's what I'm going to be farming mostly. But I have rolled several good items, just like general suppression gear, plus fire res because I was really scared of Exarch. I crafted this from the league mechanic, obviously, really strong. The rest of it is like kind of ROG geared, and I managed to grab this ring from ROG, and so I originally actually didn't have the um, life on it. It was just really good suffixes. And so with the suffixes cannot be changed. And I didn't want to buy a Veiled Orb because they were 5D at the time. And so I just reforged life, failed once, hit like T6, and then did it again and ended up with T1 life. Absolutely awful way to craft. I would just Veiled Orb if you had like a similar situation with like perfect suffixes. But like I kind of wanted to gamble, so it paid off. and I have an unset rune just because I am running a Call to Arms setup, so I need one more slot to actually fit this gem setup. And obviously, like, Enduring Cry is going to give a lot of really rapid regen for just a split second, and obviously we also get endurance charges if we are like charging into. It makes shield charging and flame dashing into enemies a little bit safer. Yeah. Besides that, I do have this kind of unethical belt. I Hunter exalted a very similar belt, and it ended up hitting chaos damage, and I was kind of pissed. So I decided just to pristine fossil this, and I ended up hitting this belt without the ES. And so I just blocked Suffix and exalted it, hit ES because of course. And yeah, this is helping a lot with Eldritch Battery. Obviously, like a Stygian Vise here might be better. And like if you're running like an ES body armor, then like DD is gonna function better like that. Fourth Vow and like Zibakwa is an option, but the prices for them are hardcore trade right now are a little insane, and I don't feel it's necessary for what I'm doing. Plus, Defiance of Destiny is like kind of a chase item I want to see if I can snag, if there is one. But chances are it's probably going to be more expensive than like a Headhunter or Mage Blood even. But I will say that my gear is almost finished for the most part, at least for like the purposes I want to play this build for. I'm playing with like blue maps still, just because I don't like dying, and especially not ripping like this type of character. I just don't want to have to reroll mods and stuff, and it's a lot safer. But the big thing is that the league mechanic itself is really, really, really profitable and really powerful. There's mods like Fracture, which, you know, like these go for almost, it's like a third of a div or something. In bulk, I'm sure they're going to go for more. If you also look, there's like adjacent effect, which is really big. But like there's corpses in general, you'll find a lot of them just mapping, and like I don't know if they scale with quant, but it doesn't seem so. So you end up just getting a decent bit without having to roll your maps like too dangerously. Also, I'm able to complete these maps in, well, around 2 to 3 minutes each, which makes mapping a very like smooth and chill experience. I get to run like Eater altars, and this also gives a chance for like Divine Orb altars. I did get one at the end of a map, which was really sad. Only ended up getting 2 div from it, but you know, 2 is 2. And besides that, I'm just racking up a bunch of scarabs, and that's my strategy for now. I'm occasionally getting like the Conquer and Shaper Elder maps just because I kind of want to farm those later. But for the time being, this build is super, super powerful to just like do what I want to do with it, basically. I think one thing I will note is that getting suppression cap is kind of difficult. You need like T2 suppression on most things, if not T1, including on shield and body armor. And obviously, if you're going for armor ES body armor, you need suppression from really high suppression tiers and high rolls on those tiers, and you also need to anoint a higher suppression anointment. But besides that, it's definitely something that's like really high priority. You'd be running chance to suppress as lucky if you don't have a cap, and I can't stress how important it is for T14s and up to get suppression capped. Just for safety, I'm running like borderline 6k life, but in reality, going in with just like base 5k is enough. There's not much speed I can gain from speccing out of some life nodes, so it's like I'd rather just take the safety. And of course, this build still struggles with some degen, but I ended up rolling a lot of like life regen on my gear, so I actually have like a base 479, which is already really good. And then obviously with Enduring Cry, it shoots up to like 2k, but yeah, it ends up being like a really solid build. And obviously DD is DD. It's absurd. The actual block chance I have is also quite high. So my body armor, I ended up getting a Veil mod for block. I was looking for something else, but I ended up getting this, which is fine. And with Bone Offering up, I have 62% attack block and 53 spell block, which is honestly like enough for mapping. Plenty. And I can probably do like Conquers and stuff, no problem. I'm sitting 2 Void Stones. I haven't attempted Maven or Uber Elder, but I think the build is like it'll have enough to do Maven if I get the Scepter. Even without the Scepter, I can still play Maven. It's just not as comfortable. And besides that, I've gotten some of my favorite slots. I haven't really tried any of the other bosses because I'm just very comfy right now, farming some currency for upgrading some items, specifically Scepter and some bases, you know? So, yeah. I want to say hardcore is a lot of fun. Like, as awful as it feels to die sometimes, the sort of, like, itch to get back into it and kind of rebuild the character from basically scratch, or at least like with without the like kind of old items or old currency from those items, it's like it's a little bit different of an experience. And I will say that the actual like trading aspect of it is a lot less toxic. I feel less inclined to like have to sit there trading and pricing all the time. I can just play more. So yeah, it's definitely been a lot better of an experience, and I think I'm going to be transitioning to hardcore permanently. Just because I kind of like the sort of, you know, league lifespan of it. It definitely like prolongs the game a little bit. Even if it is like artificial, I still enjoy it that way. So I will leave this as is, and I will be providing more updates. I do want to say that I am going to be doing some like crafting videos probably, because this league mechanic is kind of absurd. It's reminding me a lot of Harvest in its heyday. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.